Today we are with two extraordinary people to learn more about a concert that is coming to entice and bring you more information. We are with Nathan Matthews and Chritiane Noll. Nathan, can you tell us a little bit about the concert?
The concert will be Monday, May 16th at 7:30 at the Kaufman Music Center, American Concert Hall in Manhattan on West 67th Street. It's a concert mostly of new music. Much of it I wrote, and Drew Fornarola, who composes for DreamWorks and has a new musical, Tiananmen, premiering in Phoenix, Arizona next season, are the composers on the concert. So you're going to hear you'll hear something from Tiananmen he's featuring to open the concert, and some songs of shows he's working on. Then Chritiane and Jamie Laverdiere are going to premiere some songs they've written to some poetry by a living modern poet. And then the second half, Chritiane is also on with a group of opera singers premiering about 50 minutes of my new opera, The Count of Monte Cristo. So that's the overview.
Now, where have we heard your music before?
You've heard it at Merkin Hall before. You've heard it in university recital halls more often than my own music being done. It's a part of my life I've had to put on hold as I've been a music director and conductor mostly, and which I love, and an educator. So
What shows have you musically directed?
oh gosh, right now I'm doing the Full Monty in Virginia Beach. We opened this week. I'm in an orchestra rehearsal at 7. I've done everything from Les Mis to The Sound of Music.
What is
And
your favorite kind of musical?
I like musicals that have soaring melodies for great singers, but also are really integrated in the storytelling and the text. Things like Ragtime, that Chritiane actually got a Tony nomination for playing Mother in the Broadway revival. That's the kind of show I love.
Chritiane, how did you get involved with Nathan?
I've known Nathan since, oh gosh, now whether I was younger or you were younger at that point. No, he, my father was a conductor and a musical director of a wonderful little group that I don't think they really do as much anymore. But at the peak, it was called the Village Light Opera Group, and they would do 2 shows a year and a concert in the summer. They started out as a purely Gilbert and Sullivan group back in the 60s, and then they grew into American and European operetta and a Gilbert and Sullivan. And then I think come the 80s into the 90s, they realized, oh, I guess we should do an Oklahoma, and they started doing more classical musical theater and a Gilbert and Sullivan. That was still their bread and butter. And my father was the musical director there because he, over the decades of his time in New York, had built up so many relationships with orchestra players that he had a live orchestra, sometimes up of 19 pieces. And there are not many places in New York to do theater that have a 19 to 26 piece orchestra. There just isn't. You don't find it on Broadway anymore, certainly. And so that was his passion, because he loved to wave a stick at people and make music. And Nathan, how did you were his associate and
Yes,
his pianist, and but came on, I don't remember when you joined, but that's how I met Nathan, was through my father. And he was very fond of Nathan, and taught him and inspired him, I believe, as he was coming up, as much as anybody. And my father passed now in 2008. And so when Nathan started teaching, he asked me to do some master classes. I said, absolutely. When he started writing, he said, would you come and record some of my music? I said, absolutely. And then when this came up, will you come and we're going to do it at Merkin Hall. Will you do it? I said, if I am able, yes, absolutely. And here I am. So.
My readers will be very upset if I don't ask you this question. What are you doing right now and what is coming up for you?
Uh, well, right now, I am on my day off from Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway. Um, but I took the weekend off to go do a symphony concert down in Florida, where I'm actually doing a symphony concert the 2 days before the Merkin Hall concert. I'm going to be down in Knoxville, Tennessee. So it'll be another one of, flying in and being, okay, here we go. We're ready to go. But it is an open-ended run of Dear Evan Hansen. I will be continuing to do that, I believe, until July, I think. And then we'll see what happens after that. I have some concerts on the books, and I'm looking forward to resting because I've been with Dear Evan Hansen now for 2 years, and that's a long time to cry. So I'm very excited to sort of rest and maybe try to do something silly to lighten all of my spirits. So
Can I jump in and can we
Yes.
talk about Jamie, Chritiane?
Oh, of course. When my husband is going to help out, is helping out. He's my partner in the first half. Well, my partner in life, but he's a brilliant comedic singer actor, and so we're doing the what? How are you calling the poetry songs?
It's Ruminations and Reflections of an Armchair Philosopher.
Well, there we are.
They're excerpts from a poetry book by a poet I like very much, and his words inspired me. And apparently, they're making Chritiane and Jamie laugh. So
very much so.
But it's fun to be working with Chritiane and her husband together, on a set of songs. It creates a family feeling too.
Is this the first time you've worked with your husband in a show?
No, we met doing the national tour of You're in Town. That's
Oh.
how we met. And we've done a number of concerts and readings and other shows. Have we done another? Oh no, we did a play. We did a play together where we were lovers. We were not married, but we were lovers, and it was a silly farce, like a British farce called The Cottage. It was very fun. So yeah, we adore working together. We were actually just working on the Wild Monkeys song right before I came upstairs.
You were working on a song after flying in?
Oh yeah, he was doing his part as he was wandering around the kitchen, and I chimed in on my part, and we was like, oh good, we both know it. That's good to know. So yeah, we were.
Nathan, where would you like your music to go? What are you looking forward to in your career?
One of the things this concert is about is introducing the second half, the Count of Monte Cristo, to the world. Chritiane and a number of singers who are on the concert, Edward Parks, who just did The Shining for Opera Colorado and has a Grammy for doing The Revolution of Steve Jobs, the opera. And he just toured with Bocelli this past year. Anyway, Ed is singing the title role, and Blythe Gaysert from the Met is singing opposite him. But what my point is that we want the opera produced, and so the Riverside Opera Ensemble has been kind of dormant, but the purpose of the company was to, and it continues to be, to promote younger talent and promote new work. So this is a chance to promote Drew's new music and my new music, and Drew has an array of young, burgeoning talent who I think it's great that these off-Broadway and cabaret type people are getting to come on a program with people like Chritiane and Ed and Jamie, right? So that we're showcasing these people. I know you asked me about my music, and my goal is to get a production of The Count of Monte Cristo.
Where would you like it to be done?
At any respected company. There are a couple talking to me, so we'll see where it goes. But I think getting yet another sampling of it out there that people can experience is going to help it move to the next level.
You don't seem that passionate about it.
Oh, it's really hard here. Okay, I can get passionate. I'm
Please
sitting,
do.
I'm sitting in a room and alone on a camera. You put a baton in my hand or put me at a piano.
No, because
Um,
I would think that you would know where, like, your dream place to have
oh, my
this.
dream place, everybody's dream place is the Met or Chicago or the Paris Opera. You know, this dream place. Yeah. Dream
I
place.
I I would imagine he was saying very calculatedly, that's not a word, it is now, I just used it in a sentence, that he wants it done at a respected opera house, with a respected opera company.
So,
And so that because that if your opera is done in one of those with one of those companies, chances are it will then go to many of those companies.
and have a like
Um,
it, the other thing is my librettist, the man who wrote the words, is a stage director at the Met. He's been there for over 30 years,
Oh, wow.
remounting and mounting operas. So we have a unique opportunity by doing a public performance for him to invite his colleagues, which they don't just do. So
No,
we
I know
all
it.
Nathan, what are you doing to me?
don't know if they're coming, but I'm saying if just
He's
one.
got me singing. I am singing Cunegonde on crack is what I
Oh,
am.
fun.
I am singing Cunegonde 30 years later on crack. And
She's
she
the
and
villainess.
which is, and it's gonna be awesome, but I'm terrified because I've been doing Dear Evan Hansen. I've been screaming and yelling and crying for the past 2 years, and the voice is a muscle. If you don't, there's a reason opera singers sing opera and Broadway people sing Broadway. I'm a weird amalgamation because I can sing my voice does a lot of different things, and I at one point was messing around with my voice teacher at the time, and she was desperate for me to do opera auditions, and so we were getting all of my songs in order and doing all this stuff, and then I got a phone call to go do a Broadway show. So it's like, I guess I'm not doing it. And then it just stops because you have to if you are a marathon runner, then you have to train to do the marathons. You can't all of a sudden get your twitchy sprint muscles going. So it's especially now it's that you're saying we have there he's inviting his colleagues. I'm like, oh my god, this is go for broke and just throw it out there and not worry about what things fly out of my mouth. It's going to be, oh my heavens, how exciting. I
It
didn't
sounds
realize that.
amazing.
Yeah, I didn't realize that you had this is so great. I'm
Well,
learning things as I'm sitting
well,
here. This is
it's like
awesome.
a showcase for the piece.
Well,
It's
sure,
a staged, a live demo,
but a
right?
showcase that you can say, oh, we had a showcase versus people are coming and seeing it. Like this is a wonderful presentation for you. This is great.
The
There, is
reason
that
I
passionate enough for you?
the reason I asked the question was because at one point, young composers and composers that were like wanting to start and get a career, it was Santa Fe.
I worked there as a pianist.
Yeah, that used to be the place to go here if you wanted to hear new and up and coming operas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was definitely Santa Fe.
Is that still the case now? Is that the route? Because there are so
Yeah.
many different ways to get things produced these days. Is it that still the route of choice is through Santa Fe?
It's where if you are somebody that looks for new up and coming new things like I always did, if you're looking for who's going to be the next on the charts, you would always go look at Santa Fe because they really did cutting edge, different kind of works. So they weren't always the traditional opera. A lot of times they bordered on the border of musical theater and opera. So you got a lot of dramatic, a lot of story. And you heard things that you never heard before. So yeah. I think it's still there.
Oh, Santa Fe's still there. They're going strong.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an aspirational company for sure, for a piece like this.
Are you working on something else now besides this piece?
Well, I just wrote these songs for Christy, so now I'm like, what's next after I do this show this weekend and get through the concert, and my life is opening up, so I expect to start writing more. Since I've switched gears in my life so that I'm able to I'll be able to write more. So I'm looking, what do I want to do? So that's we'll see how this is all
I think
received.
that's the question each of us asks ourselves every day.
I
Well,
was gonna ask, I was gonna say that very thing. I don't think you're alone in that question. I think we're all asking ourselves that.
Mhm.
Now tell us when the concert is again.
It's May 16th at 7:30, Merkin Concert Hall. Can I quickly say all the singers' names?
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
So Quentin Bruno, Grace Choi, Terry George, Jen Parton Shin, Michael Jane Walker, Christiane Noll, Jamie Lavadiere, Thomas Capobianco, Dietrich Davis, Edward Parks, and Blythe Gaysert are singing. And in addition to Drew Fornarola's music, he's his own lyricist, except for one song that Timothy Roller wrote for him, and Peter Haslett Kelly and Stephen Pickover are the wordsmiths for my music. Just want to credit all the people.
Feel free.
Yeah.
And tell us again where it is so that who's ever watching can go get their pen and paper and start to write.
It's at Merkin Concert Hall on West 67th Street, one block north of Lincoln Center, west of Broadway, on the north side of the street. And
well, we look forward to hearing this concert. Chritiane, we wish you the best.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Nathan, we look forward to hearing more from you.
thank you.
Thank you.